Welcome back to the channel, guys, and in this video we're going to fit a double swivel seat for the VW-T5. We've ordered the swivel seat from Transporter HQ and it's arrived, so the first thing I'm going to do is get it unboxed and have a look and see what we got. We're Mark and V and this is our adventures. I'll tell you one thing, this box is really heavy. Right, let's get in there. Now when the DPD driver turned up, I actually had to help him out he couldn't lift it out the back of the van. And really was very heavy. I don't know what the weight is. I'll have a look on the box in a minute and see if it says what weight it is. I genuinely was shocked how heavy it was. Okay, there's a weight on it. It says 36 kilos. Quite a weight, isn't it? Right, let's unbox it now. We've been waiting for this, haven't we? Let's see what we got. Lots of packing. So we have a pack of screw bolts. It's actually a Rusty Lee swivel. And Rusty Lee, I've got, that is heavy. Now that genuinely looks like it just sits down over the original mounts. So I think I'm gonna get the van open and we'll do that next. We've unbolted a seat. We did that in the previous video if you're watching when we're moving the electrics, which is still carrying on. So if you watched the other video, you've seen all that finish. Well, this is happening in between. And if you want to see that video, have a look there. I'll put a link. Both these videos are going to come out at the same time and both will have links to each other. That's what I'm trying to say, innit? And the link will be there. Okay, so now we have to disconnect those blocks and then we'll remove the seat into the back. When you're removing these wires as well, rather than struggling getting your fingers around them, just get a thin flat head screwdriver, just push in the back and just twist very gently. And do the other side. And it should wiggle off, he says. Maybe this should have been done before the seat was unbolted. There we are. It goes. There it is, all out. The next stage of this install of a seat is these wires apparently got to fit under here somewhere. So we're going to work out where we can put them. Not quite sure where at the moment, but apparently they will go underneath. So we'll get that sorted out. Then these bolts apparently are 10mm too long, the front ones. So we need to shorten them by 10mm. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it in the van or it'll be better doing it on a vise. I think I'll probably do it, if I can remove them easy enough, I think I'll do it on a vise. And amazingly, that has gone in really quite easily. There's a little bit of a rise there. Apparently the new seat base is about 45mm high in the middle, so that won't crush any of that. Just not so sure about these, so we might have to move them forward a bit. But there is space here. So we'll see how we get on. And that there is an earth from an earlier install, so that will just go back to that point there. I'm not quite sure what it's from, and I'm sure we'll find out at some stage, but if I don't earth it, something won't work. So next thing we're going to do is take out these bolts. Right, just out of interest, now this one here can't even get a socket on it, so I think we'll just cut that one in place, and the same with that one, just can't get a socket on that one either. That one is out, and so is that one. So the two of them we'll do in a vise, that'll be a bit easier. The other two, unfortunately, we're just going to have to do in situ. Just before I cut this, I just want to give you a little tip here. You're going to have to cut 10mm, as I said earlier, and I just want to show you 10mm. And hopefully you can see that. I'm just looking through the camera so I can see it as well. That cuts into the thread. Now, if you cut into the thread, you need to put the nut on, because when you take the nut off, it will remake the thread if you damage it, because you are going to damage it, but it'll remake the thread. So just be aware of that. If you cut it without the nut on, it's going to be a problem, possibly. Not saying it is going to be, but it could possibly. So we'll do two like that in the vise. Nice brand new blade as well. You see, let's bring that into, you can see how the thread is just like gone over a little bit. So when you take them off, just work them a little bit. Don't have to worry too much, but, and then the thread is good. So when you put the nut back on, it goes on easily. It's just, things like this can make your life a lot harder if you don't do them the right way. So that's that one done. There we are, done. I've warmed up now if I wasn't warm before. So the next thing I think is to actually put the seat base in, but we'll give this all a bit of a clean up first. Don't forget that wire. I believe that is a diesel heater. I was having a look underneath and I think it's a diesel heater. This is what happens though when you haven't got your own van or doing someone else's van. You've got to discover things. Or a new van for that. Initially I made a mistake. I watched an earlier video that said about cutting 10mm off these studs. Now don't do that. This is a newer version of the Rusty Lee swivel sliding seat. Well, it's a sliding swivel, not a swivel. So you remove the 4 studs at the back, but leave the studs in the front. Now luckily I cut these, didn't I? But I've used the 4 at the back, and we'll be using bolts at the back. So what we're going to do now is we're going to lift the base into place, and then we can start bolting down. Now you'll notice as well, all the wiring is under there now in that channel. It does fit really neat and tidy. I'm quite impressed actually, and I've noticed you can actually get to there through the seat base. It's not very easy, but you can do it. What we're going to do now, and this, believe me, this is really, really quite difficult. Now, in a perfect world, there wouldn't be a lot of stuff around you, but there is. So, I'm just going to feel where the holes are. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's not the right ones. There they are. So the hose are right back there. Oh, yeah. So we're sort of lining up at this sort of point here. Front's got to come up here. Yeah. Right. Now. Look at that first time. Wow. So that's in place. So what we're going to do now is we're going to undo these. So that's us all bolted in there. You can see there's the 4 bolts supplied by Rusty Lee, Transport HQ, and the standard bolts at the front, now done properly. You can see how they come up. I'm just pushing forward for the first time. Hopefully he's going to go forward. Oh, and he's catching. Why is he catching? What's he catching on? You saw me struggling just now to pull it backwards and forwards. What's not very clear is there are washers that go on the front studs under the base. I've done that and it seems to pull forward and backwards all right now. So fingers crossed. Now we're going to put the seat on. Now the next thing we're really not sure about, and it's unclear in their video as well, is these bars. Now I'm presuming the seat sits on top of these bars. Wish me luck. Has just sussed out that bar. Well done, V.
I'm the mechanic in the house, really.
Now, go on, V, you explain it.
So the bars have to stay in place because they're like a spacer, because you've got this metal piece on the bottom of the double seat which has to go in this gap.
There we are. Every day's a school day. Right, that's the seat in on the base, as you can see. It's quite substantial. It was relatively easy to do, really, I suppose. Just a few things that weren't quite obvious initially. But it's in, it looks good. So let's see how easy it is to turn it. So the first thing we do is 1, 2, 3 at the back, 2 at the front, 1, 2. Now I'm just going to put the camera with V so she's looking at it. So I presume we just throw the seat back, spin the seat, watching the hook. This bloody hurts.
Watching all the things that Debbie's got hanging up in her van and everywhere.
What have I stuck on there? Come back a bit further.
Sure, there's probably a little knack to it when you're doing it all the time.
Probably is. I think what I've done is I've pulled it to one side too much. There you are.
That's it.
And there you go.
You probably need to get in, you need to get your weight behind it, I think.
Yeah. And there we are. Now, at the moment, we've got lots and lots of things catching, like hooks and
Pink flamenco hooks.
I think Debbie will have to redesign some of her clip-bead things. There was a hook up here, stopping it going. That one there. Debbie. I'm going to put them over there. And the hooks that were up here, stopping it.
That's it.
There it is. Push back in. And then I suppose you can lock them in.
Yeah, we'll just have a little sit on there, give Debbie a wave.
And there we are. That feels a little bit rocky, so I do think it has to be put in properly. But she'll probably want us to do something with her.
You like Debs? We'll be having a little party in your van now.
So there we are.
Look, Debbie, look, my feet are here, Mark's all the way over there.
Seat wise, it feels quite comfortable. My feet are, from knee to the floor, really comfortable. For me, I'm about 5'8", short legs as everybody tells me. Yeah, that feels really, really comfortable. I think when the van is finished and tidied up a bit, I think it'll probably be easier when we're not tripping up over wires and all the rest of the bits and pieces in here. Because at the moment, it is an absolute mess. I'm sure it's going to get tidier. I am sure it's going to get tidier. But for the minute, I think that's where we're going to leave it. And we'll carry on tomorrow. The next thing we're going to do, and we'll go back to the other video, which is going to be there in the links. and we'll continue doing that. So catch you a little later. Well, that's the Rusty Lee double swivel installed, and it looks quite tidy, doesn't it? I mean, come round, just going to come round. Debbie's put all the bits and pieces back in here now, but you can see that looks lovely. And we saw it spinning earlier, and I think that looks really good. You know, if you found that interesting, if you think you were going to get one, let us know down in the comments below. I think it's a really good seat. If the video's helped you out in any way, shape or form, you know, made you decide you want to get one, made you decide you don't want to get one because of the extra hassle that's involved, well, give the video a thumbs up for helping you. And if you want to see more stuff like this, maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Look after yourselves. See you later. Bye. Thanks for watching.